We gotta be good. We good.
Okay, making sure.
B.o.P podcast, episode 67. What is going on here? It is Whisk.
Outlandish.
And we are here, episode 67. Like, subscribe, comment, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. We are live right on TikTok. What's happening, TikTok family? We are here giving you the news, rants, and IOOs to you every single week. Of course, when we don't follow us on Twitter, you get the latest updates and the like. Last week, we had some personal issues, and it sucked, but now we're here. We thought it was going to be game over, too. But the laptop is now working because my dumbass didn't plug it in.
Wasn't plugged in.
We're not going to talk about that any further. So, what are we playing today? Mine's very easy. Warzone 2, a.k.a. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Of course.
What are you playing?
Of course. Pokemon Scarlet. Violet. Violet.
I messed you up.
Violet. I'm playing Pokemon Violet, and yeah, we'll go into more of that later with our things. But I will say I'm enjoying it a lot.
So that's good. Now we're gonna just talk. Not, I wouldn't say briefly, but the elephant in the room. It was just announced, and we're gonna talk about the Mario.
The second trailer
that came out today. I'm gonna put up the picture. I'm still iffy.
I don't know.
I'm iffy. Let us know what y'all think, TikTok.
Yeah, because personally, I'm still not a fan of the Mario voice. I'm not. But I did like what they showed in this trailer. I will admit. I did like, some of the action scenes. I loved how it ended. That was great with the whole cart thing. That was great.
Yeah.
I freaking loved that. Peach's voice because she doesn't really talk anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a shock for that. So
the toads are going to be hilarious. That is the one key that I got out of that is the toads are going to be funny, and I'm for it.
And honestly, I know how you feel about this, but I enjoy Luigi's voice. I actually
it's all right, but my mind is I want an authentic voice acting from the game, but we talked about it in length
it wouldn't work.
Even if it were to be the case, it wouldn't work because it'll be dragged out and very, very, very
people
much
will get
annoying.
Annoyed so fast.
So they have to be smart about it and not do it too much, but at the same time be new. And Chris does a great job, but it just doesn't. The last part when they landed on the rainbow, when he said "woohoo," that was ill.
That was actually pretty good. How he
so
did
maybe
that.
Their direction is doing some of the straight copy of Mario and his gestures and waha, woohoo, yeah, that type, and keep it.
But yeah, from the trailer, I loved how they were going through different kind of obstacles. They were going through the bridge with the little fishies.
Oh yeah.
Like one of hit Mario, I was laughing at that.
Guys, if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, you might as well go ahead and check that out because Mario trailer it's fantastic. It's good.
And then
Jack Flag doing his thing.
And Jack Black doing his thing. And then of course we have some of the super power ups that we showed. They showed the fire leaf.
Oh yeah, I love how they touched the flower and it just raised right to the arm. Like okay,
and they had the Tanuki suit, which was awesome.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I was a fan of that.
There was one thing on Twitter that was people going around like, yo, why did Luigi look like he's ascending to Ultra Instinct? But it was, I guess, I don't know what power he had, but he got risen by Bowser. I'm assuming based on the trailer.
Yeah.
But it was funny because they were already saying, Luigi's stronger than Mario? Ultra Instinct? Luigi? I'm like, dude, stop. They already did Shaggy, Ultra Instinct Shaggy, and put it into the multiverse. So
I know that was funny. They did that. But so far, I will say my hope for the movie is up a little bit. My hope is still not fully there.
My hope is it's gonna be a great movie.
But I will say,
but it'll be long too.
It seems like Nintendo's definitely have their reins hard on Illumination because, in my opinion, Illumination always made, how do I say this, safe movies. They don't like to go big on their movies. They like to basically play towards the audience and be safe with it. They don't do anything adventurous. They don't do anything crazy. They're just safe with their movies. And in my opinion, they're usually boring.
I'm confused. You got to elaborate about safe, meaning
they don't do anything crazy. They don't do anything that's offbeat. They don't do anything that's just basically play towards
the genre
and stuff like. They don't try anything like new. They don't try anything like that. They basically play it safe, keep it like what people like, and that's it. And in my opinion, it's always been boring. But they seem with this one, they're actually putting all the Nintendo flair with with the Mario and all that stuff, and it looks like Nintendo has more in control and reins of this. And from what I'm seeing with these two trailers, it looks like, okay, this is actually going to look like it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It looks like it's actually going to be an Illumination film in a while that I actually enjoy it. That's
Gotcha.
how I feel.
Okay. So it seems like Illumination is like not free balling, but at the same time they have more freedom to exercise another person's IP.
Well, it's because Nintendo,
Or multiple IPs.
because you know how Nintendo is. They're very, very strict with how their IPs are. So they probably have major control on this. And from the two trailers I've seen, other than Chris Pratt's voice, it's been pretty good.
Which is fantastic. So far, it's looking good. You got more of the voice acting, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Toads are gonna be awesome.
And I
Gonna
like
be splendid.
and I like what they did with Donkey Kong too. It was so funny. I was laughing at that.
Yeah, they're saying that Donkey Kong has a little bit of a different personality. Is he a weed head? I'm like, no, why people
they're
come?
not gonna do that.
Yeah, you got to see the
But
picture though.
it looks like it's more goofy though,
yeah, that's what I feel.
which
that
is
he's gonna
fine.
be.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's like how Knuckles transitioned from being a tall, dumb one to being like a short should have been in the first place, a monotone, serious, but with stupid ass questions sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's now has a serious tone to him
But
now,
yeah,
and
this
it's
Donkey
translated
Kong
to
definitely
Netflix.
looks like it's gonna be a lot more goofier, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I'm okay with that. Just as long as they do it. We didn't hear him really, so we don't know
Yeah,
how
we
he
just seen him beat
talks.
Mario's
We
ass.
just seen, like, with this whole
So,
hilarious.
sorry to spoil it for you guys. But it's everywhere. It's just trending on Twitter. It's fantastic. So April 2023 still, no delays.
Yep,
So that was good.
I was happy.
Now we're going to talk about something that actually has been updated as of today, and it's happening so rapidly that right now we can talk on it, and then it's going to be outdated. I could put it on my top 5, which you guys please go ahead and check out. We are now doing the top 5 news weekly, so if you don't catch us live, you can actually check out that video that gives you nice top 5 news of that week. I'm trending on Saturdays,
Mhm.
but I want it sooner. But we're gonna stick to Saturdays, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I want to do it sooner, maybe so.
there's a lot of news been coming.
But I
out
said
on this.
Saturday because like you get all the days. It gives me time to edit, place, and put, and then
Exactly.
put it on a Saturday, so they kind of end the week. So guys, make sure to check that out because it's pretty funny. But see, based on that, we can hit you with this. In another hour will be news, and then when I do my top 5, it might end up being old, but. Microsoft and Activision pending deal, and as of today,
So much things will go in.
as of today, it's been confirmed that Brazil and Serbia have approved the buyout of Microsoft buying Activision. So I'm not a fan of that. I don't know why, but I just don't want Microsoft to own this because it seems like they're really, really trying to get Call of Duty without trying to say they just want Call of Duty for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're bleeding out of IPs. Yes, they do have Bethesda, but it doesn't seem so for now. It doesn't seem like it's benefiting from that buyout. It could be. I just don't see people flocking over such Bethesda games like that we thought was going to happen. That was a big purchase too.
Exactly. Now, so
where do you want to start? Because this is going to be a big. This is going to be a little big chunk.
Yeah, because okay, well, I'll start with the whole one that got me like a little shocked thing. So earlier last week, because like I said, there was a bunch of things just coming out because they're in all process of talking about it. So Microsoft called the Elder Scrolls series a mid-sized game.
A mid-sized game.
Which
Elder Scrolls mid-sized game.
Elder Scrolls, and especially Skyrim, like that's not a mid-sized game. That is not a small game. That is a big game. That is a game that a lot of people play, and the game that they said, the game didn't come out since 2011, but has been re-released so many times it's ridiculous. It was re-released in 2013, 2016, 2017, 2020, 2021, 2022. It was literally released so many times, and it's literally, think of a system or a mobile phone or anything, it's on it.
It's a cash cow, and they don't want to say that.
Exactly. It's like they were trying to downplay it so badly that it's like, this is just a mid-sized game. And they were also saying, which is another thing they were mentioning in the same thing
It's driving outlandish,
that
crazy.
Fallout, the game that's also been multi-system and stuff like that, was a niche title.
And I'm going to say that makes sense because I don't necessarily believe Fallout is the game that people will run for after 2 months when it came out.
But it sold millions upon millions and millions.
Especially in the Xbox 360 days too, man.
That's not a niche title.
No.
When you sell millions and millions of a title, that's not niche.
No.
And so it's like...
It's just, for me, in my opinion, I feel like it's a niche title, but it's still, again, it's a solid IP.
Exactly. So they're pretty much saying that they're downplaying the company that they recently bought, the Bethesda one, the one that went through, was last year or the year before that, whatever year. So they're downplaying those games. And they were also mentioning games like, Starfield and Redfall, that they're going to be new IPs, that they don't know how they're going to be reactive. But let's be real. Starfield, everyone's been excited for that one because it's made by the same Bethesda, which is the same people who did Elder Scrolls, and everyone loves Elder Scrolls, so everyone is going to love Starfield. So let's be real,
regardless of that situation, how you feel about it, it's gonna sell.
It's gonna sell, and Microsoft's just downplaying it. And Redfall, we don't know about that one, but people seem like they're excited about that one too. It was just funny because 2 months ago, Xbox was mentioning how Call of Duty is not such a big title. It was not big. Remember that? You remember they were saying that? That Call of Duty is not such a big title. It's not going to be a big thing. And then now, 2 months later, they're saying, oh no, Call of Duty is a big title that we can't just get rid of it from our Sony brethren. We can't do that at all. So they literally turned 180 with their ruling. And it's like, are you... like... It's bothering me so much how much they're going back and forth with
the fact that they are actively, like almost every day, downplaying their own company, beating themselves up, just so that the regulators can just go, okay, we feel bad for you. They said Call of Duty's not really the game we're trying to chase. We're just trying to expand our mobile market. We just wanted King. We just wanted King and all that mobile process.
Talking about King, you know how big King is? If they get that, Microsoft is going to be one of the big, other than Tencent, obviously, it's going to be one of the big rulers of the mobile.
Yeah.
You do know that, right?
Yeah. It's going to be insane. The fanboys going to rejoice.
Of course, they are. But
now, here's the funny part. And I explain a lot when it comes to regulations and buyouts and whatnot, and it happened in the mobile industry, it happens in other industries. When you buy out and it goes to regulators, the regulators, if they don't see that full deal is unfair, they want to either split it or see if they can meet in the middle of certain things. And again, I'm gonna give this example because it is possibly the best example, and it is the AT&T and T-Mobile when that was going to buy out. That was a 4-in-1 industry. It was Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint. AT&T, which is the second largest, is going to buy T-Mobile. Thus, Sprint will not survive. It'll be top two, Verizon, AT&T. Regulators didn't like it, so they went through the regulation, the hoop, saying this, we'll update that. They're like, you're not going to do it. All right. We're going to break up. $6 billion went to T-Mobile from AT&T. That deal did not go through. It's over. Fine. Now with this, they're trying to do the same thing, and this is in different regions. Okay, so again, in the beginning we explained that Brazil and Serbia, 2 countries as of right now, today, they approved the acquisition without issue, no contest. They approve it. We want to make it happen. The EU, which consists of 20 countries of such, maybe, roughly,
give or take.
Yeah. They are a whole nother realm, right? And they have an active probe against Microsoft for this acquisition, and they stated that we want to look at a little bit more into why and if it's going to be anti-competitive. While that's happening in the United States, it's already likely that the FTC is going to file an antitrust lawsuit against Microsoft Activision because of such. Now, because of that rumor, Microsoft turned around and said, hey, look. We want this to go through. EU is a profitable market. How about this? I'll make a concession. Okay, that's the quote. The concession. Look. I know we're awesome. We want to get Call of Duty. We want Bethesda. We want everything. So what we want, we'll give Sony permission to have Call of Duty for 10 years.
I can't
Call of Duty for 10 years and be fine. And And now, here's the funny part: if that whole regulator, EU, Pro, whatever, is stupid, then they fell into the trap because Microsoft can say, "Yeah, Call of Duty, mobile games," and if they do so, that would be a 10-year agreement for Call of Duty on a PlayStation 5, region locked in EU alone. What about in the US?
Now, that's the thing. Can they do that? Can
They
that
can
happen?
absolutely do that. Yep. If the EU allows them to have that concession and works with the EU, then they have to fight with the US. And if the US has their own concessions or flat out denies it, because it's a Microsoft US company,
What the thing
then
is,
it's over.
with the FTC, one of their recent wins was Penguin, Reardon House, and Simon and Schooler, which are publishing companies.
Mhm.
They were about to merge.
As a book was a book, right?
It was a book, yeah. They stopped that merger because
Mhm.
doing that is going to cause like a huge monopoly thing like that.
It disrupts all the digital copies and rights and all that. That's a
So-
whole mess too. Yep.
So yeah, they recently stopped that. So I think because nothing, like I said, all
That's
this
a good deep cut. That's a good.
all the
nice.
thing is kind of rumors right now because they said that luckily it was Politico said this
Mhm.
was the one, but they're in the process. They're doing all the paperwork. The thing is, it's currently challenging the lawsuit.
But if they challenge the
Which
lawsuit, that
means,
gives
yeah, we don't know.
Microsoft and Activision other ways. It's not that the FTC has a way to allow it and have certain options. It's we're filing it now. Give us a reason why you want us to. And if it's just BS, like what they've been doing, just beating each other. God of War is the best-selling line of Sony. They have all sorts of different. They have all sorts
yeah,
of this.
I can't believe they were
the
saying
major
that,
leader of the
too.
gaming industry, the gaming world. Like, bro,
Yeah.
stop beating yourself up
What the
because
thing is, what the serious about this,
it's
with
sad because if they approve it, that means it worked, and they will They will give Call of Duty 10 years to Sony as an app. I am telling you, they will do it as an app.
because the
got-
FTC, the thing with the FTC antitrust lawsuit, they received depositions from both Satya, which is the main guy from Microsoft,
Yeah, the CEO of Microsoft.
and Bobby Kotick.
Nobody cares about him. He's going to be gone by next year.
Well, I'm just saying this thing because what I'm saying is that they are being serious with this. It seems like because those two already sent in their depositions, so it seems like it might be something that could go down and see like what's going to happen with the whole
Arguments.
FTC and see what happens on that part. Because I can't believe that Microsoft was because this is going to be another like little tangent going towards this, but Microsoft was saying earlier that Sony's games are more polished, are more better than the games that are coming out on Microsoft, that the exclusives are more higher quality. I mean, they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
Because
We're not gushing on Sony
no,
fanboys,
no,
but
no,
they're
no.
not wrong, bro.
But I mean, if you're gonna release a game that's not even fully finished, Halo,
Infinite.
you're not going to release much of your exclusive games at all this year, Starfield
Redfall.
and Redfall, or haven't even touched some of your current IPs in years, Fable.
Perfect Dark.
How I can understand why Microsoft is saying things like this, but saying things like this as a company and just trying to like pretty much dogging your own company, your own like IPs and stuff, that's not a good look.
And to keep, I mean, it's apparently trying to really get Call of Duty under its belt because
That's
they
what
just
it's
want
trying to do.
they want to take that and then push that for hardware alone
Even though
because they're not selling
months,
hardware
even though
like
months ago they were saying that Call of Duty was not a big deal,
that.
but now apparently it's a huge deal.
Now they want to do mobile instead of worrying about discs and Call of Duty and all that stuff. So it's like, dude, seriously, to be completely honest with you, it's one of those things where it's gonna be pushed. It's gonna go through regulation. I personally don't want it to go through because of the sheer fact that Microsoft is flat out lying.
Oh, I know
They are
lying.
lying, bro.
Because let's say if this
And we
does,
can't trust those types of liars because
Oh,
once
no.
they put the approval and it gets going, obviously all the Sony fans are gonna be really pissed, and those that approve that acquisition is gonna be really pissed.
what they keep saying, they keep saying this every time when new things come out about all the stuff they've been saying is that we are not going to take Call of Duty from PlayStation. we don't want to lose players. We want people to have more options on where they can play the game at. I don't buy that at all.
Nope.
I do not.
In the cell world, T-Mobile turned their back with the Boost Mobile 5G band that they were told you're going to give Dish Network 3 years so they could build their 5G network, and T-Mobile's like, yeah, we'll do it, we'll find to close the deal. And then T-Mobile bought Sprint. In 1 year, T-Mobile said, turn off, you're done, and they can't do nothing about it because they approved it. If they approved, they could do whatever they want.
Exactly.
So that's why they're doing a concession to have a contract for 10 years, but that could be vague, and it's only in the EU market.
Exactly. It's like, because the thing is, for us to even think about it, like, I still don't want this to go through, but even if they're going to think about doing it, the 10 years has to be worldwide.
Yeah.
And it has to be, at the end of the 10 years, they are open to negotiations to increase the things.
Not to mention, they do the
Something
10 years.
like that.
Then Call of Duty will not be released every 10 years and not every year. Or remember how they said the cycle is going to be every 2 years now?
So now they're going to get even less Call
That
of
could
Duty
be
games.
one Call of Duty game.
Maybe two, depending on the thing.
Maybe two. Or have it 2 and then be 1 year old on the PlayStation.
No, they said that they were going to release it at the same time. I'm just saying what they said. I already told you you don't think I believe that.
Oh
I don't
my God.
at all. But they said that, no, we'll make sure it's getting released at the same time. Because it's so funny, because every time a new thing comes out with their discussions and all that, they always send their representative, their spokesperson, to say, no. Call of Duty is going to get released on the same time. Call of Duty is going to come out. We don't want to get rid of Call of Duty on any other systems. We want it to have in all the systems so more people can play it. They keep saying the same thing, which makes me seem like it's fishy, because they are saying these things so to make sure it makes them look good. So when the deal goes through, they're going to be like, oh, that? Nah, we don't believe in that.
And the messed up part is they try to use we done that with Minecraft, and Minecraft now is on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it with which Minecraft is Mahjong too, right?
They're all
They
over,
bought it with Mahjong, but that Mahjong was a big deal to a point, but it was mainly on the mobile, and that was not a console direct competition. It was just another way to get the pie for mobile. You're talking about Call of Duty that actually had a start on PlayStation, and then it went back and forth to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation brand every single year.
And most of the players currently right now, I'm sorry to say this, they're PlayStation users.
Yeah, I didn't realize
how
it's all PlayStation. Mainly, most of them are PlayStation users.
Most
for that.
Most of the gameplay who plays Call of Duty are PlayStation players. That's what it is.
Now people can use the price point anymore because you still can play the Call of Duty new one on the X, and it's cheaper, half the price as a Sony PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so to still have a user base on PlayStation, that says a lot.
Exactly.
Oh man, there was one thing. Oh, and then another thing which we kind of talked about.
Yeah.
And poor thing, they tried to say, was it Sony? If Sony was, Sony did it.
Sony said this one, yes.
And then Sony turned around and I was like, yeah. Because Microsoft tried to say that they have other titles and developers and other shooters, and they try to say Battlefield. And unfortunately, and I'm a fan of Battlefield, and I've been a Battlefield fan, not since 1942, but when the Frostbite engine was introduced with Battlefield 3, that was epic. It's still epic. It's so epic that it actually gets replayed on the Battlefield 2042 as a custom game. I know Battlefield 2042 is a little bit... And I still rock with it. It's really nice. I like it. The destruction's great and all that. But Sony went ahead and said, in a nutshell, it's like, bro, Battlefield ain't ish compared to Call of Duty. What are you talking about? And they make sense, and it absolutely is correct.
And they were saying you
bad.
can't compare the two and all that type of stuff. It's like, I mean,
you can't compare because they don't do the same numbers, bro. Yeah, they don't. Exactly. It's one of those things where, and we were just talking about this earlier. There's a guy on TikTok, and I did a duet on this, and I didn't like the way he came off with it, but unfortunately, I made it as a funny little skit. But in the end, he's kind of right, because Call of Duty is approached as an arcade shooter, and it's not really an arcade shooter. You want an arcade shooter, Time Crisis, right?
Yeah, exactly. Time Crisis.
That's an arcade
House
shooter.
of the Dead.
Yeah, those are arcade shooters by definition.
Things like that.
They're arcade shooters, and they feel, you grab them, they feel like arcade. Call of Duty doesn't. It's not that at all. But because it is so approachable and so you can grab the controller and with ease play and get familiar, and the progression system is pretty simple until now. It's approachable as an arcade shooter. So in a way, I made fun of the dude, but it's still funny as hell. But he's kind of right when it comes to arcade shooter. But then he was totally wrong when he said, "You're not there." Nah, bro, because you got the next generation systems. You know damn well you're gonna get it for the realism. That's why DMZ now is more of a tactical, the way you aim and all that stuff. So that's awesome. On top of that, you have oh man, I was going with the silver. Then you got Rainbow Six Siege, which is another game that is more of a tactical squad based intro and blah 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 and all that. But Battlefield is more of a simulation, conquest, taking over in the maps, working with squads in a super big area. I think even bigger than the map for Warzone 2, but it's just a different. That's a niche title.
Yeah, because pretty much how they compared like sellings of what they sold each of the things. So the new Battlefield sold about 88.7 million. Call of Duty hit 400 million. It's like,
and it only came out in like 2 weeks.
There is no competition.
They don't do the same
None
numbers, bro.
at all.
They got ad money. They got all the celebrities doing it. They got promo.
Exactly.
And it's just the name itself, so we get it.
I mean, it sucks that Sony had to say it like that. But
They're trying to prove a point, bro.
They are trying to prove a point. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, EA, do better, but I mean,
exactly. It's like, yeah, EA is a big company. We know they're one of the biggest third-party companies. We know that, but they're not at the level of Call of Duty.
Money-wise, they're not, and they're trying. But again, they're trying to keep. They don't want to become a Call of Duty because then it just becomes a knockoff.
Exactly.
They want to keep it a different variation of the shooter.
And that's fine.
And
have
they
different
do have
options,
that.
and that's great. Have different options. That's fantastic. But you can't compare sale-wise.
But see, here's the thing. Here's what's the best part. Here's where you can kind of understand where Battlefield's coming from. You got Call of Duty, which is dope. Then Battlefield, niche. If another shooter came out like that, it won't top Battlefield.
Oh, 100% not.
Like, if another shooter wants to compete, it will not beat Battlefield.
I mean, there's like things like Ghost Recon and stuff like that, but they definitely don't do well at all.
Yeah, it's a great, but won't do well. Rainbow Six, I think this one's actually doing better because they fucked up really bad in Battlefield as far as the bugs and just the initial backing of the developers. So they messed up.
And also, there was like things back in the day like SOCOM and things like that.
SOCOM was great too, but when it came to Battlefield and the realism on that, they were anticipating. It was more hype with Battlefield then, and then it was still hype for Call of Duty. Now it's more Call of Duty, Battlefield.
Well,
yeah, what's that game?
Yeah, not much people play Battlefield like that other than Call. Like maybe out of like 10 people, 2 people might play Battlefield, and the rest will play Call of Duty.
Yeah, so
that's how it's gonna be.
I am a fan of Battlefield. I love it, but Call of Duty, of course, now that there's a lot of people playing it, Warzone's great and all that. So, but that's a lot of Microsoft news, man. And again, 2 countries accepted it. They got a proactive for EU.
But the thing is, with the EU and the United States, it's going to be much harder to please those two. So I don't know what else Microsoft is going to do to try to downplay themselves or anything like that.
Cry, beg.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because apparently, if everything goes through, it's supposed to go through everything through June of next year, I think. If everything goes through.
It's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have... I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is, but now we have quick, I don't want to say quick, but like noteworthy news here that we have. Let's talk NetEase Blizzard, because that one was caught me off guard. And what was the issue? And then we're going to transition to a related
So the issue with NetEase is that they were the ones who were serving the Blizzards in China. They were the ones who were doing all the services and stuff like that, the internet services and stuff like that, for all the games like World of Warcraft or anything like that. Well, and it lasted for years, for 14 years. It's going to end January 23rd of 2023. So literally in less than 2 months. It's going to end completely. So games like Overwatch 2, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, no longer will be in service in China.
I wonder why.
It's because they couldn't come up with an agreement that worked on both of their ends that will be fair to their customers or something like that. So they decided to just not renew the agreement.
That's random.
So, but the thing is, Diablo Immortal, which is the Diablo one for the mobiles, that will still continue because that's in a separate agreement that they did.
Well, that's okay. So, I mean, China has a lot of things that's happening there. So
yeah, so they said that they're still going to do all the updates up until January 23rd. So Overwatch will still get their recent updates. World of Warcraft will still get their new thing, but they're not gonna have long to play them because it's gonna literally just die off and thing.
Oh my God, that's
exactly.
That's I'm gonna look into that more.
So I think more people are probably gonna do like VPNs and try to like secure like figure out a way to get around so they'll be able to still access their games.
Yeah, like reach another server.
Yeah, because what they said is they're going to save their data in the server. That's what Blizzard said, that all the people in China's data will still be saved in a server like that, so they won't lose it, but they just can't access the game. Damn. So unless people, VPN it or figure out something to do, I don't know what they could figure something out.
Yeah, because they're
not going to have access to the games.
That sucks. Talk about digital. Look at that. They just stripped the whole thing away. All right, but then we're going to segue to Overwatch, because Overwatch, they now allow, which I didn't really look into the back end of it, but very, very briefly. Yes. Overwatch now allows you to utilize prepaid phones to authenticate yourself, which I think is a new thing now. Because
before they only allow like actual cell, I don't say like actual cell phones.
Postpaid, monthly bill.
Exactly.
Cell phones.
But now they're going to allow prepaids now.
Track phones, burner phones, in the street phones.
Yeah. If you come from a city where we come from, these are like normal type of phones that people had. So
they use track phones, but I guess there was something to do. I don't know. It's a dumb thing, but I viewed it as they couldn't tie it to an authentic plan, but now they did. So it's like, okay, we get it. But yeah. So they decided to add that, and so we'll see how that goes. They should have done that in the first place, but
I know.
Maybe they didn't test it. Whatever. It was stupid, but it is there. Then we have we did that. This one?
That's the one from Steam. They're finally getting added to Steam.
Oh, really? Okay, we did that. Okay, I didn't think it was a big. It was 3 games, right?
It's a big deal.
I thought that pick was from last week when I was trying to update it.
Oh, really?
That's why I was like, why is that? I saved it. I was like, Ubisoft messed it up. Ubisoft.
So Ubisoft announced that on December 6th, Valhalla will finally be coming onto Steam.
I have one name. Is it called Noah 8 or something? Am I close?
Yes. The other games were Roller Champions and Anno 1800.
See, it was 8 and 8. It started with an A and it had an 8 in it. Yeah.
So those were the things, because originally they were on Epic Store, and originally they had a deal, but they said that it didn't work out. It was unrealistic. That the way Steam handles their distribution, it's awful for companies and all that type of stuff.
That's an excuse. They were there for 4 years. What do you mean? Exactly. We just feel it's unfair. No, they need to get that money, and they realize something. In my opinion, they need to get the money, and apparently Steam is the way to go. Right?
Everyone loves Steam. So now they're going to be on Steam. You still have to get an Ubisoft connection account, and you still need to have the Kinect installed on your computer, but you could just go on Steam, buy the game, and you can just play it through there.
It's like like how Microsoft says that, if you're stupid from taking the PlayStation fan base of Call of Duty, keep it to yourself. An Xbox, you'd be stupid to do that, because you're just taking your income away from all the PlayStation and game.
I thought
currency.
People like money. I thought big companies like money.
At the end of the day, they got a bottom line.
Don't you want to release your games to more people? If you put it on Steam, that means you get all the PC
you get access people. To more. Yeah, they could be fees related, but maybe they did it for 4 years and they kind of realized, man, damn it, we probably need to pay this fee, because in turn it flips and makes a profit.
Because lots of games are released on Steam, and lots of people do very well on Steam.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Ubisoft is making some damn sense and woken up and actually going to release their big Valhalla game along with others. And I'm sure they said they're going to be releasing more games during the time. But those are the 3 that's getting released now. And I'm sure like all the other games will come out soon.
Now, the last two topics we got, I think they're last 2. They're kind of not chunky, but they're funny. So by that, we're going to talk about Aussie.
Yeah,
and this pick that I didn't rearrange here, and I'm going to right now, and it shows a loot box. that is X'd out.
Yeah, because Australia, so a congressman from Australia, Andrew Wilkie, decided that he's going to introduce a bill to their whatever Australia's Congress is called.
Parliament.
Parliament. That's it. Yeah, Parliament. I couldn't think of it. That they're going to restrict games that have loot boxes to 18 plus, and also have warning labels on the game stating on why the game is rated 18 plus, like what kind of loot boxes are in there. Stuff
In a
like
way,
that.
I agree, but in a way, I don't.
A lot of countries, well, not a lot, but some kind like Belgium was one of them that stopped that, and I think some other countries I can't think of right now.
I mean, I think I'm okay with it only because loot boxes, there's a chance, and you're rolling the dice, you're paying a lot of money for it, and it's a sign of gambling if you don't really get the result you really want, and it's a chance.
And let's say you put in this towards kids games, like like games like E for everyone games like FIFA, Madden, and of course a lot of people play games like Overwatch. What's that game called? Fortnite, things like that. Things like that. It's like, yes, these games are E for everyone and all that type of stuff, but gambling is for adults, and loot boxes is pretty much and loot boxes is pretty much gambling. And that's what the issue. That's why when countries like this are trying to introduce bills to be like, no, you can't put this on there. You can't. A kid can't go into a casino and gamble, can they? No, it's illegal. And pretty much loot boxes is pretty much the same thing.
It's just an interactive version of it. It's just dressed differently.
Exactly. So that's why they're trying to introduce. Of course, nothing has passed through. It was just introduced.
Yeah.
We have.
But doesn't Belgium have it already?
I think Belgium has it, yes. And I think another country too. I just can't think of it. I just know Belgium is one of them. I know that.
I think what it is too is loot boxes. I mean, if you watch your kids and your purchase history, maybe this loot bullcrap would go away. But because these parents are not really regulating the children like that, and they're saying they're going to play, and then the parent getting mad because all the money's being spent, but then you're the one not looking at the child what they're doing.
And they're going to find out on the credit card bill that their kid spent like hundreds of dollars on loot boxes.
For nothing, because the kid that wanted that one thing didn't get that one thing because they wanted to go for the loot box in the first place.
Exactly, because remember, loot boxes are randomized. That means you never know what you could get. You could get a great thing, or you could get the same thing 10 times.
If you look at a digital purchase and you're going to get those items and you're going to pay that money for those items, fantastic, it's great. No law should be
once you
implemented. But when you have a random loot box, and you're putting it towards kids, and it's easy access to do it, and not to mention, of course, payment and all that stuff.
Exactly.
They can build a habit. These kids are now susceptible to those, and they can easily get that. And if they don't get it, guess what happens? They get mad and want more.
It's addictive. It is.
Yeah,
it's an issue.
It's a rise of dopamine and a decrease in dopamine instantly.
I mean, it's great that people are trying to figure out ways to get rid of it, because me, I always been against this type of stuff the longest time.
Yeah.
I never understood digital purchases. I'm okay with whatever, as long as you know what you're getting. But once you start putting a randomizer thing and you're taking my money, there's a reason why I don't like doing lotto tickets. There's a reason why I don't like going to casinos. I don't like playing with my money like that. I like to know exactly what I get for my money.
Here's what I think loot boxes are compared to our generation. Buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Digital cards on the game.
Yeah, I don't spend money on
that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because
for one, you can grind and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you can get a whole structured deck in 10 random packs. But they tell you it's random packs. It's not really a loot box. Exactly. I think what it is too is because they can use that as an argument. Well, card games and Pokemon trading card game and Yu-Gi-Oh! They have loot boxes too. No, it's packs.
Well, first of all,
it's randomized.
That's randomized packs, and because I know some people try to use arguments when you buy cards on real life and stuff like that, you never know what you get on there. Well, first of all, you're getting a physical thing, so you have it in your hands.
Yep, property for one.
Exactly.
Okay, it's an asset at that point. If you want to get legal, okay.
Exactly. So it's when people use that kind of argument, it's so weak.
And it's not even just so weak. They're just looking at it as the chance. But for one, it's an asset. It's physical property. It's yours. Two, it's not something that you gain as loot, or however you want to call it. If you want to purchase cards, you're purchasing a card that has 5 cards in it. Loot box is whatever is in it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really specify. It only specifies one thing. you could possibly get a super ultra gold rare.
Exactly. You get the most popular costume, get the popular character, whatever the loot box has in it.
And you won't get it in the first try if you're really, really lucky. Just like in the cards.
Yeah.
But with cards, there's multiple different cards to get, and it's advertised that way. If you're going to see a huge set of Yu-Gi-Oh,
And
there's going to be 10
thing.
brand new shiny cards. You have that much of a chance to do it. But then when you're buying it physically, it's an actual, tangible.
And also since it's physical and all that, you could trade with other people. You can't do that with digital.
Nope, you only can show it off.
Exactly.
Which apparently is enough for the kids to go, look at me, I'm swagging. I remember when we did Halo 3 and they had the Hayabusa helmet. If you did a certain amount, you get a Hayabusa helmet. And we were swagging because they were like, oh, that dude's dangerous. Look at him. He got the fire. He got the helmet with the fire on it, And that's it is what it is. But they're just trying to figure things out.
Exactly.
And I guess Australia is another country doing so. And now we're going to talk about the bug-ridden, and I feel it is the first time for this generation of young children to face bugs. Because to be honest with you, me and dealing with such games that have bugs, and especially new games like Cyberpunk, it's notorious. But they didn't really think it was going to be in a Pokemon game, though. That's the crazy part.
Have you seen some of the bugs?
I haven't seen them. I've only read there was one part about something to do with I guess it was a UI glitch in the menu or something like that. But it was I didn't really dive into because you have the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I haven't really dealt with it. But
Which you're a lucky one.
Yeah, I'm lucky. But yeah, it seems like, there's a lot of glitches in this game. Like pretty much when you ride on the bikes, sometimes the bike will disappear, so it looks like you're just riding in the air. Some of the characters stretch out. Some of the characters, like, their arms and legs moves in like weird different ways. Some Pokemon just disappear through the grass. Some of the textures on the backgrounds just disappear completely or look like blocks. It's a lot of different things been happening, and a lot of people. So there's been actually some issues that people are actually getting refunds. Mostly it's happening in the EU, not in America so far, but mostly in the EU that people are actually getting some refunds back.
And it's so bad that the company itself has a whole section of customer service specifically for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because obviously it's a Pokemon game. It's going to sell like freaking hotcakes.
Which I'm going to get to that in a second.
Now, before you talk sale numbers, I want to say that it's a different market when people buying Call of Duty, grown-ups are buying Call of Duty and letting their kids play or buying it for the kids. But those kids, okay, and this is in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, probably not, but I could be totally wrong. Those kids endured and love those type of glitches. For one, I'll give you an example. They just found a glitch in Call of Duty DMZ. Literally, you go, you aim, you drop a gun, and you aim, and then I think there's something you have a pack, and then if you move your cursor and you hit stow on the weapon, oh no, wait a minute. You drop cash, then you aim at a gun that has a modifier, and then you move the cursor away, and then you hit stow, you get like $1 million. Kids, and adults love that type of glitch, and they will use it.
That's the thing.
Even if a gun disappears and it becomes like they're shooting with fists, that's a TikTok. That's a hilarious, and they love that until it gets patched.
Exactly. And you know what's funny though? With this game, with the amount of bugs, people are still playing it and people are still enjoying it.
And yes, but because parents and other kids, they don't experience that type of thing in a Pokemon game, they automatically, it's not like, oh, this is weird, my game's broken. Instead, that's what they're thinking now. Whereas we're so used to bugs, it's just like, oh, there's bugs. Oh, I'll get fixed with a patch. It's kind of funny though, but okay, So all these parents getting it for all the kids, and the kids is crying that, oh, I can't look, mom. You got me it's the wrong game, mom. Look, I don't even see my Pokemon. Look, I bring out this Pokemon out the thing, it disappears in the grass. It's the wrong game, mom. Yelling at the mom, poor mom or dad, that they got the wrong game. But the fact that this is the right game, but it's damaged. So there's a different demographic as far as like the kids that get it, and the bulk of the parents buying that game. Then there's you, and then there's everybody else, including me. If I ever had time to play the Pokemon game, that we actually see the bugs go, that's funny.
Exactly.
But how is that going to get fixed though? Because it's not all online, right?
It's just in the game, which it can be fixed with patches, but Nintendo has to get on there and start doing patches.
They're getting that cyberpunk feel now.
Exactly. Now, let me tell you the sales, because it actually hit a record for Nintendo for sales.
Know how that's gonna go, man. Pokemon. If it's not Mario, it's Pokemon.
So within 3 days of the release of the game, it sold 10 million units.
3 days.
3 days.
Jeez.
For comparison, Sword and Shield, the generation before this one,
Yeah.
sold 2 million.
In 3 days.
Yes.
Oh my, dude.
So it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, right?
That like tripled. That almost tripled, right? Or quadrupled. Quadrupled the amount of sales from the previous generation. But the previous generation was the first time that came out with that type of graphics. Is that what it is? No.
Yeah, the Sword and Shield. Yeah, it was the first time it came. That was the first Pokemon came out on the Switch.
So it's a sequel of the actual. Okay.
And so 4 million came from Japan alone, and 6 million came worldwide. Okay. So that's what the 10 million. But yeah, a lot of people bought this game. A lot of those people are getting frustrated and pissed because of glitches. But people are still playing because people are enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Like, people are enjoying it. It's just some of the glitches, and hopefully they'll fix the issues.
They're just more complainers because the demographic is not used to such.
Well, yeah, because kids are not, as you know, kids are not the only one who are fans of Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's people like me who grew up with it and who love the game too.
Mm-hmm. And then when you see a glitch, you go, oh, all right, they'll fix it. Unless if it's really bad. Unless if it's bricked. If there's a bug that bricks your game or bricks the system,
and from what I've heard, I don't think there's any issues like that.
There's no
it's just a lot of just like
enabled glitches in the game.
Glitchy, like things looking weird.
Yeah.
Stuff you can see like in like I said, Cyberpunk, things like that. That kind of.
Or the glitch missing now from Pokemon Red and Blue.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor Pokemon, but they sold dumb money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they're going to continue to sell dumb money, and they'll probably get a patch.
Well, the funny thing is, that's what people were saying. It's like, yeah, all these glitches are happening and stuff like that, but people are still buying it. It's like...
Yeah, of course.
They're not going to fix their issues if people keep buying the game.
Let's hope Nintendo and whatever the company that is running that game puts out a patch real fast.
It's Pokemon Game Company.
Is it a Pokemon Game Company? Is that what it is?
That's the name of the company.
It was Game Freaks before.
Yeah, it's like now it's called like the Pokemon Company. Oh. Yeah, Pokemon Company.
Well, let's hope they put out a patch real quick because that type of game's not that
sure,
much.
I'm sure they release. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Is that all we had?
I think that's everything. Do you see anything else in there?
No.
I think we all explained everything.
What is this? No, that was a wrong file. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I think that is it, man. That was real quick. I mean, mainly was the Microsoft issue.
Well, yeah, because like I said, it was a lot of news, but it was all Microsoft news.
Yeah. It was literally one picture, 4 different topics.
Yeah, because I'm just curious what's going to happen next week. Like, what's Microsoft going to say?
So, do you want the deal to go through? Yes or no?
No. That's me personally, but I want to see what Microsoft is going to say more to make it seem like thing. And I'm curious because they said the whole 10-year thing for Sony, but I know you mentioned it could be just for the EU only. I want to see if they said no for the worldwide. I want to see if they're going to say that.
Because Microsoft did that. They put that concession. Yeah. It wasn't mandated by any of the governing bodies.
Well, the thing is, with the FTC supposedly thing, which they said if it goes through and stuff, it's going to be as soon as next month.
And the thing is, if FTC is smart, they would say, look, whatever this costs, because they look at numbers crunch. They don't get the active, they don't get the fun, they don't get the environment. So what they'll say is like, look, my thing is, they might say, Call of Duty needs to be Call of Duty in the name of the franchise, and anything that's universally associated with Call of Duty should be available in all consoles and future consoles indefinitely worldwide.
If they did that,
and if they don't do that, then the deal is off. And let's see if Microsoft will actually do it.
And honestly, if that is the deal that they put on the table, then honestly, I would be okay with it.
Yep.
Because that's guaranteed that Call of Duty is not going anywhere else. It's going to be multi-platform. Yep. It's going to stay multi-platform for the rest of its life.
Because we don't really care for Microsoft when it comes to mobile
No,
It
I
is
don't
what it
care.
is. We
It's
don't
whatever.
care.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
they got Mahjong, they got Minecraft.
can't. They can't do that with like Call of Duty. If they have a new IP, whatever, make that exclusive. I don't care.
Yeah. They already got. They got Redfall. They got Starfield. They already got Elder Scrolls.
And
they
I'm
got-
sure if Activision does go through, they'll create their own new IPs.
Yep.
But Call of Duty, things that you know is known for being all over the same, including PlayStation, where most of its users are at, you can't make that exclusive.
And they want to.
I know they do, but you can't. They can't do that.
They want to sell hardware, but they're not selling hardware. They mainly focus on in digital. So yeah.
Well, it's because they have the Game Pass.
Just
That's
imagine
why. They
Game
focus
Pass
on
being
that.
$20 a month, and automatically day one Call of Duty, no other payment, just Call of Duty. Of course they're gonna. They want that, dude.
But
That's why they want to do it. They want to take it and keep it for themselves, which I get it.
But they
can't
can't
do it.
do that because that deal will be like, if they say completely no to that deal, let's say if they do propose that deal and they say no, it's not going to go through, and you know who's going to lose? Activision Blizzard.
Now, what if, I just thought about this before we end the show. What if Sony says, we can get the 10 years, right? Sell me all your rights. Let us, ready for this? Remember this, okay? What if, let us indefinitely use the license of Halo,
That's never gonna happen.
and they own Bungie? Do you think that'll be fantastic
You
if
know
they
that
say,
will never happen.
I think it could.
That will never
Halo Infinite is suffering. 343 Studios has been screwing up ever since Halo 4. Microsoft can make money still without even caring about Halo.
because their
by-
name is attached to it.
And the
So-
original makers of Halo, Sony owns now, which they make Destiny, and it's Bungie. So if Sony says, we will allow the 10 years, but let us give us 10 years, and let me use your license for Halo. You get a little bit of chump change, it's fine, but let us, if they get 10 years and work with Bungie to make another Halo on a PlayStation, bro, and Halo was the most popular multiplayer game versus Call of Duty. That's probably the only one I can contest
The thing is,
with Call of Duty.
The thing is, if they were to do something like that, wouldn't they need to release like the collector's edition, or pretty much all the other Halo games? Should they be released?
No,
to the
it'll
other
be-
thing? Because won't that be like because doesn't Halo have a story that's connected
They
to each
has
other?
a story, but they can make a sequel of Halo Infinite. They can make a sequel of it, but it's Bungie, the originals, bro.
I understand that, but I'm just because remember,
And they have the live. Oh,
because remember, Mass Effect was originally an Xbox title,
yeah.
and then Mass Effect 2, I believe, was also Xbox, and then Mass Effect 3 came out on the PlayStation and Xbox, but they released Mass Effect 2 on the PlayStation because it's
Yeah.
how you're gonna have 3 and not have 2 at 1.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, let's say, if your thing goes through, are they going to do the same thing with Halo games? Like, let's say the Chief Collection or whatever the hell.
The
collection.
Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, if they release that to the Sony things, along with whatever the new Halo game they create.
If Sony were to go this route and ask for all of their catalog and put it on Sony, fine. I'm just talking about the namesake and intellectual property.
Which that will be 100%
Halo.
because
So
then
they won't pull.
they'll
from-
make a new Halo game with the original Bungie team.
Oh, that's it right there.
That would be crazy.
Pulling Halo away from Xbox to put it on Sony with the same people that
Well, the thing is,
created
they
Halo
probably-
is a whole.
Well,
Dude,
the
that's-
thing is, that Halo game is also going to be coming up for the Xbox too.
I would say no. If I was Sony, I would say no.
They're probably not going to do that though, because then I don't think
A
Xbox will
year,
agree to that.
a year. Give it a year.
I don't
Wait
think,
a year.
I don't think Xbox will agree to that.
Let the Halo OGs create Halo on your competitive
'Cause-
platform. All these years, the reason why Xbox was hot was because of Halo.
Because
So
you
they
do
could-
know,
oh, man.
Halo will not give away Halo like that. That's the only game that's good right. Well, it's not good right now. But
They
it's the
got
only game that's-
Starfield. They got Redfall. What you mean? Shut up, bro. They got Call of Duty.
You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense.
It's funny.
So now that I'm thinking about it, it's Call of Duty, Halo, and Battlefield. But the only reason why Halo's not really popping like that is because they've been screwing it up.
Well, yeah, Infinite is awful.
Absolutely. It's damaging the brand of Halo. Let the originals take it over. maybe that could be it. But Sony has to pitch that idea, and then they have to pitch that to the regulators. So no, we'll allow the concessions for 10 years with Call of Duty. That's fine. We just want to use that Halo. Let me get that Halo. Let me use all. You can get 0.001% of all revenue from the namesake of the license of Halo, but we want that. They can even ask for the whole license outright. Sell me the Halo ID. Do you think Microsoft would do it?
I don't think Microsoft.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because
That's a
Microsoft
big deal, dude.
knows that's their cash cow. Pretty much, they know that.
That's an old cash cow. They got a new one, Call of Duty. And if I'm telling you, if Halo were to be on a PlayStation platform underneath Bungie, the originals, bro, and all you're gonna hear is the whole church music in the beginning of the screen on the Sony platform, on a Sony. Oh man, that's the only way Sony can allow Call of Duty to be stripped away from them, is to take something away from them.
We will see, because
Okay.
it all depends on what they
I mean,
think.
put it on Twitter and tag everybody on it and see what happens. That's fun. All right, episode 67. Thank you guys for checking out. Like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell to know that we are on at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday, as well as check out our top fives and other skits, hilarious videos on the YouTube, as well as TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram and all that stuff. So, peace.
Peace.